right, Tiffany. What is this? What's going on?
We are recording our first podcast, or attempting to, and hoping that at least one other person listens to it, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll see. The Strengthen Your Herd podcast. And we're finding that as we try to put this episode together and this recording together, to tell people just what the heck it is we're doing, we don't quite know yet. We're still figuring a lot of it out as we go.
Yeah, I think we have lots and lots of ideas for specifics, but an overall theme is chaos.
Yeah.
We'll figure it out as we go.
It's going to cover a wide variety. So some people might listen to this. Some people might watch this. So, and who knows how people are going to stumble upon this. Obviously, if you're our friends or our family, we expect you to listen to this to support us and strengthen the herd.
It's not a requirement, but you won't be invited to Thanksgiving next year.
Everyone's invited to Thanksgiving every year, all the time, no matter what. But a hog roast or a field harvest or shooting or anything else, yeah, you might not be invited to that. Where I was going with that is there might be a lot of people that don't know who we are, what we do, or anything like that. So, who are you?
I'm
What's
Tiffany
your name?
Castle. I am Michael Castle's wife. I am a mother to 1.5. We are 6 months pregnant with our second. Mostly doing the stay-at-home mom thing, but we wear a lot of hats in this family, including rancher, photographer, podcast host, apparently. And yeah, we just take one step at a time, and we tend to bite off more than we can chew sometimes, but we make it through. And yeah,
No other option.
no, we don't give ourselves any other options. So, yeah, that's me in a nutshell, doing the mom thing, rancher, photographer, just trying to make ends meet all the time. They usually don't, but we figure it out. So
They always meet. The ends always come together. We don't know how
yeah,
or when, but they do.
yeah, it's never on our timeline.
Yeah, they always come together, but not always. Sometimes it's last minute and we're panicking, but that's just life. I think everybody can relate to that.
Yeah.
And I'm Michael Castle, your husband, and I'm just the glorified laborer here on the ranch. You're the brains behind the operation. I do a lot of things. Like a whole lot of things. I can't really consider myself any one particular thing because, I don't know, I do everything all the time.
I mean, all of our family jokes all the time about how there isn't anything you're not good at.
Well,
You feel differently, but you do a lot of different things in a lot of different arenas.
there's one
And you knock
there's
them out of the
one
park.
thing I'm good at. And 1.5. I can run a trigger pretty dang well. And I can kind of smoke some barbecue. But other than that, I just get by.
You're a
Come
pretty good
on.
dad and husband, too.
Well,
We'll add those in
I'm
there.
figuring that out one day at a time. There's so much to cover in this first episode. We're just trying to let people know, hey, this is who we are, and this is what this podcast is going to be about. So now that people know that you're Tiffany and I'm Michael, and we don't know what the podcast is going to be about because it's going to cover everything from, I don't know, name a topic.
Parenting
And building fence
and raising your own meat.
and fighting an insufferable tumbleweed war
And infertility.
and living with a mindset of being prepared to defend yourself and your family no matter what, no matter where.
Making yourself and your family stronger through what you eat.
And making your community stronger.
By sharing
Just through
the food and the service and the acts.
Everything will tie back into strengthening your herd. And the idea behind strengthen your herd, and we'll get into the depths of this for each of us in subsequent episodes, but what can I do to strengthen myself? Is that eating well? Is it getting rest? Is it working out? If the answer is yes to any of those three, then I'm not currently doing any of them.
I mean, it's the holidays.
Yeah,
so
but we try real hard.
We try. The thought's there.
But what can I do to strengthen myself so that I can support you and our kids and strengthen you? That's the first layer of the herd outside of me is my family. Going beyond that is our extended family.
Yep.
Your parents, my parents, our siblings, the rest of the family, and then friends, and then our communities. And the different communities could be just your neighbors. It could be your town, your state,
your church,
an industry you're a part of, whatever. But that's strengthen your herd, and it's going to cover literally anything that you can do better for other people.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Acts of service and, helping to provide ways in which people can live a better life. And whether that means reframing the way they look at things like food and, processed food versus ranch-raised food, or reframing the way they look at, making decisions for their kids and their family to make sure that they're putting themselves and their family first to make them stronger, because you can't pour from an empty cup. You got to fill that cup, and then you can pour into other people. And it starts in the very beginning, like you said, and the ripple effect just keeps going. And then when you're helping out in the community and things, they're helping you too. So everybody is more apt to give back when they're full.
Yeah, that's the idea anyways.
Yeah.
How did we end up with a herd to strengthen in the first place? How did we end up here at the ranch in Carr, Colorado? Literally the last exit on I-25 before you hit Wyoming if you're headed north. How did that start?
Well, you made a joke, and I've proven a few times in
Twice.
our relationship that you shouldn't make jokes around me because I take them pretty serious. So you made a joke about running off to the mountains, which we're not quite in the mountains, but we could see them.
We're on a hill.
We're going to the mountains and raising bison. And at the time, I think both of us were, pretty unhappy with our situation, as far as we felt like we were on a hamster wheel. We were running the rat race, and we were both looking for something different, something to fulfill us. And so I started digging, and I figured out that bison are actually pretty darn sweet, and that there were a ton of benefits to the land, to your body when you consume bison, to the animals, all kinds of benefits to raising bison. And I came back to you 2 weeks later and said, we're going to do it. And you jumped on the crazy ride with me. And a few years later, after looking at tons of land all over the state and even out of state, we found the perfect piece in a community that we love. And we bit the bullet and started building fence is really what happened. We built our house, built the fence, and then a few years after that, the animals came. So now we have, we just had a new baby. So 14 bison on the land. And they're happy and healthy, and I get to look out my kitchen window and see a herd of buffalo roaming the plains, which is
Whoa,
pretty magical.
It's bison. It's bison. People are gonna get all Twitter pated and
Well,
confused and
I was going
not
into
know the
where the
difference.
buffalo roam and the deer and antelope play. It's pretty much a dream out here.
Yeah, yeah.
But
Well, the wind's not blowing.
sometimes that dream becomes a nightmare, and we've experienced a lot of that firsthand. I'm sure we'll get into that in other episodes. The good, the bad, the ugly of living your dream, even when it's hard, and it being the hard that you chose. That's something that we
Yeah.
talk about a lot. And we chose to chase this dream about bison, and here we are,
Yeah, that sounds
raising
about
babies
right.
and bison.
Yeah, here we are, trying to get it done. So that's how we ended up with the herd. A joke turned into a dream, turned into a reality, turned into a whole lot of work. And we could not
work
have
is
done that
never
work
ending.
by ourselves.
No.
I tried really hard. I tried to do it all by myself with very limited success. And so a lot of people had to force their help upon me, which was very, very cool. Not in the
been
moment because I'm not good at accepting help, but
Blessed with a herd that supports us.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people who come out and they've helped us in emergency situations when I call them bawling because I'm pregnant and I need help on the ranch and you're not here.
Mm-hmm.
They've come out because we promised them beer and food. They've come out to support us, and we've always been very lucky with an incredible support system in what we do. We work very hard individually, but when the time comes and we need help, the cavalry shows.
Yeah, and they've proven that time and time again. Yeah. They really have.
So thanks, Herd.
But yeah,
because we know you're the ones listening.
hopefully they better be. What else?
I think we've covered a lot of, we don't know where this is going. Lots of ideas. The plan is to do kind of a mix of you and I talking about certain subjects, you interviewing some people that you work with directly, whether it be the ranch or at your job or different places like that. And I plan to talk to some people myself, doing some interviews, people who've helped me in parenting advice, in health advice, business advice, things like that. We'll do some combined where we add some people with both of us. So it's going to be kind of a mix-up of every episode and what we talk about, but I'm pretty excited. I think it's going to be a great way for us to get some of our messages out there and what's worked for us, but more importantly, what hasn't worked for us and how that's changed the decisions that we make for our future, for our family, for our businesses, all of that.
Yeah. And maybe instead of talking about what this is going to be, we'll talk about what it's not going to be. Because you have strong opinions, I have strong opinions. We don't always agree, and that's fine, obviously. But I feel like in the last few years, people have, well, honestly, like some of our good friends and even family have kind of written us off on this journey to getting here.
2020 was a rough hit.
Yeah. Yeah, people have all sorts of feelings on all sorts of things. And so what this is not going to be is for everyone. Not everyone's going to want to listen to this.
That's
not
okay.
everyone's going to want to listen to every episode. I'm not even going to want to be a part of every episode or listen to every episode because I know a couple of the topics that you have lined up. And they're either weird or I just am not interested. And that's fine. But it's when we talk about whatever it is, whether it's me or you or us together, I hope that people don't think that we're coming down on them,
No.
because that's not the case. We've had way too many friends blow us off and judge us and write us off and think that we're crazy, that we're these dirty, unclean, unvaccinated, crazy prairie people. And to an extent, like, it's kind of true, but it's just supposed to be an exchange of information. It's not us preaching. It's hopefully just us putting a little bit out there.
I think that we struggle with some people who have come to that decision that, you know, maybe their lives are better off without our extreme lifestyle involved in it, mixed in.
Dude, we're not even that extreme.
But for us, like, that's what we value. We value the fact that people can have a different opinion, that you can choose to parent one way, you can choose to eat one way, that those are your rights to make the decision of what's best for your herd. Mm-hmm. What's best for you, what's best for your family and your kids. And we really value that. So when we talk about things, that's just the decision that we've made for us. That's the decision you and I make together for our herd, for our family, our kids, our extended family. This is the way we give back to that. This is the way we make decisions based on that. And we value the fact that every family is different. Every herd looks different. Mm-hmm. Every decision is going to be different for everybody. So it is kind of hard for us sometimes to not feel like we are being judged for the decisions that we make for our herd and therefore written off, because we value that you can make different decisions. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of the podcast isn't going to, every episode might hit a different audience. It might hit a different heartstring that it's going to pull, that kind of thing. And that's okay. That's kind of the beauty of it. If you disagree, skip it. The next one's probably going to be something you like, or it won't. That's okay too. We're just out here talking about our herd and how we've strengthened it, and we're proud of the life we're building, continue to build, because there's always something to build out here. Mm-hmm. Proud of where we come from, where we're going, our marriage, our family, the house we've built. We work very hard, and it isn't easy, and people need to know that part too.
Yeah, so, we don't have a dang thing figured out.
Nothing.
Like, we have moments where we think we do, and we're pretty close to having something figured out, and then the rug just gets pulled out from underneath of us. But again, that's just life. We're just figuring this out as best we can, and we've scoured all over every platform you can think of trying to find information to make things work and achieve our goals in a way that is meaningful to us. And that's, obviously a simple Google search. It's emails, it's conferences, it's talking to people. I believe that nothing beats the wisdom of experience. So we've searched high and low for answers to questions in every aspect of our lives.
To a
and
fault.
That's
We researched
and that's
to
what
a
we're
fault.
trying to put out here is just one more. This is how we did it.
Yeah.
One more. This is how we did it. And if you can take a couple pieces from this, and it helps you somewhere down the line, that's all I hope that this ends up being.
Honestly, we've learned more of what not to do by researching and visiting places and seeing things and helping people. And if this turns into a podcast of, well, I want to do the opposite of those people, that's fine too. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
Do it like we did.
I
Don't
have
do it
way
like
more
we did.
failures to share than I do successes.
For sure.
Like, yeah, that's absolutely the case there. So, well, it'll be from the heart. It will be as genuine as we can be. It's going to be pretty raw. Like, this isn't going to be a polished product in any regard. And we will try to keep it family friendly.
Yeah.
But
Michael's better at that part than I am.
yeah, okay. Until I'm interviewing a coworker and we're talking about the mindset to
Yeah.
stay alive. That's a polite way of saying it.
Yeah.
And the things that we might need to do to achieve that goal. So, be warned. Viewer discretion is advised.
I apologize in advance for offending you, but also, if you're offended, skip it.
Yeah. Like
We aren't going to please everyone.
We'll have some family friendly shows like this one. And then I'll have some with the guys that we'll put a disclaimer at the beginning of those.
Yeah.
And you'll have some weird stuff with girls. It'll be all over the place.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't know. We'll see what it turns into.
We'll do the dang thing.
The next couple episodes, we'll do one for each of us on what strength in your herd really means to us individually, and a little bit more about our backgrounds, our stories, how we ended up in this. A little bit more than just, oh yeah, Michael was cranky in traffic and made a joke, so we have bison now.
Yeah, because it took a lot more than just making a joke to actually
deeper dive into things, because there's a lot to unpack there, I guess you could say.
Ooh, that got real cheesy real quick.
Yeah, well, trying to appeal to all the audiences. Yeah, so that's what we're looking at for the next couple. And then
on to the nitty gritty.
We'll have some members of the herd on to talk about what strength in your herd means to them. It's different for everybody, even though we're all part of the same herd.
Yeah.
Cool. Any final thoughts?
Do what you can for other people. Think about your family and put them first. And if you're doing that, then you're doing the best you can. So that's kind of our motto, is strengthening your herd. So
cool. That's a wrap.
Bye.